Hey YouTube, I'm back again, even though I just did like a 2 hour vlog the other night, like 2 nights ago, and you're like, what the hell could you possibly have to talk about now that you didn't talk about then? Especially since I went on for 2 hours about nothing, and yeah, I can't say that I have anything any more interesting today than I did that day, but I did say that I wanted to try and get more into a habit of making these again and with like some amount of regularity. So, yeah, there's that, and I'm trying to do that. So, watch this if you want to, don't watch it if you don't want to. I don't really care, it's all good with me. So, as you may have noticed, I'm wearing braids today for the first time since I was like 14 or 15, maybe. Somewhere in there ish. They're like my little Linda McCartney braids, and you're like, Linda McCartney didn't wear braids. And I'm like, yes, she did. Back of the Band on the Run album. Yes, I have my vinyl right here. Um, Look right there. Yes, she did. Linda's hair was way finer than mine is, so her braids came out a lot skinnier than mine. And as you can see, she also had poofed up shaggy hair in the back. And I don't. Mostly because when I used to wear my hair like this, I did do that. It wasn't pretty. And no, I'm not going to share pictures. I wore my hair like that from about halfway through 8th grade through every single day of my first freshman year of high school. You're like, first freshman year? How many did you have, Jennifer? And I'm like, 3. You only think I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I was a reclassified freshman 3 times. No, I don't care. So, yeah, there's that. And I wore my hair like that the first year there and had the whole poofed up, shaggy shit thing in the back. And I was going for Linda McCartney, but A, I'm not a blonde, and B, I don't have fine hair, so it just came out looking more like Peg Bundy than like Linda McCartney, and it was all bad, so I stopped wearing it like that. But I guess I got a wild hair up my ass and decided to put braids in my hair for the first time in forever today, so deal with it. It is what it is, and yeah. Put that over there. So stuff to talk about. Well, there was that meeting thing at the nursing home my grandpa's at today, talking about the caregivery stuff. Uh, there's some drama involving that, mostly because nobody seems to know what the fuck is going on. I mean, it's so disorganized. We showed up there this morning and said we had a meeting this morning with them, and they were like, yeah, you do, but we're not even sure who you have a meeting with. Give us a minute, we'll figure it out. Better part of an hour later, they finally figured it out. It was really that complicated to where it took an hour to figure out who we had a meeting with when it was on the schedule. That just... Never mind. But, yeah, I am, like, so burnt out and frazzled from this whole damn thing. I mean, it is crazy. But we talked to the lady who's, like, I think the social worker. I could be wrong, but I want to say she's the social worker. There was like about 5 people at the last meeting. It was just her at this one, and was saying how my grandpa ideally wants to go home now, which, yeah, we know that, but physically he's not quite really ready, and it would really benefit him if he'd stay for like another week or two to like build up his endurance and strength and try to wean him off the oxygen thing. But they're gonna like consult his doctor and see what he says, even though he'll probably just go along with whatever my grandpa says, because I don't know, but he'll probably be like, oh yeah, he must go home, send him home, even though he's not ready. I don't know, it's stupid, but yeah, they want to keep him there, but I don't think they're gonna. But what they are gonna do, since he's gonna like come here afterwards, is they're doing that house inspection thing here tomorrow. But at the same time that they're doing that, they're bringing my grandpa here for a test run, basically just for a little while tomorrow. Not even spending the night or anything, just like probably an hour or two tops is what I'm guessing. Maybe longer, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But they're gonna like put some oxygen monitor thing on his finger and like monitor his oxygen levels, like to the car, from the car, going up the steps into the house, walking around the house, sitting up, standing up, sitting down. Yeah, I can talk. I told you I am out of it. I am wiped. But yeah, seeing like the everyday things, getting an idea of what his mobility is in the house, but more importantly, finding out what his need for oxygen is, or if he needs it just to function for basic daily things. And it'll probably be at least a couple, maybe a few days before they get the results of that test back. So I mean, that buys at least a few days right there that he'll be kept there and worked with. But I mean, this is the same guy. Apparently they tried to do occupational therapy with him yesterday, and he goes, occupational therapy? What the hell's that? I don't need a job, I'm 95. It's like, that's not what occupational therapy is. Oh my god, I don't even know how to explain it to him in any better terms, but at this point, if he's gonna be going home in the pretty near future anyway, it seems kind of pointless to even bother trying to explain it to him, because how much could they really get done in, like, what, a week? Maybe 2 weeks tops? I don't even know. But, yeah, they're doing that tomorrow, and I guess a lot of it hinges on whatever the results of that test were, and whatever his doctor ends up saying afterwards on if he's ready to go now or not, or let him go despite not being ready. But they really ideally wanted him off the oxygen. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I did get to ask my big important oxygen-related question today, so I do feel considerably better after doing that. I forgot to ask my other ones, but I asked that one, and since I've been losing sleep worrying about it, the one about how, you know, you can't have like an open flame anywhere near somebody who's on oxygen or it could like blow up. Well, the lady claimed yes and no about that being true, that the oxygen itself isn't flammable per se, but if there's a fire going, that the oxygen can ignite it. But as long as he's not in the like immediate vicinity of a candle, that shouldn't even be a problem. So my whole worry about if I want to light candles in my room and meditate, apparently not even a problem. The odds of it being a problem, she said, are, yes, there's like a tiny fraction of a margin of a chance that it could blow up just from being directly under my room, but the odds of it are so low that she said to probably not even worry about it. The odds of that happening are not good, and especially if I were to be lighting them during a power out, the oxygen machine wouldn't be on anyway, so unless he were on a tank, that's a moot point that I don't even need to worry about, which I hadn't thought of that, and I feel really dumb for that. So I mean, the power out thing was more of a worry because there would be more candles involved, because I know my parents go fucking apeshit as I do with the candles during a power out to make this place light up like Christmas. So yeah, although we're trying to get as many non-flame alternatives anyway, just to be on the safe side. Like, we got some really mega high voltage battery powered lanterns. We already have one of that model that we let Kimmy use during our last power out, and even with like the arms on it folded down, it illuminated her whole damn room like really bright. And I was like, holy shit, I want one of those. So they ordered like 3 or 4 more. They're not here yet. They probably won't be till like next month sometime at best, but still. I have been promised one of them, and I'm like, dude, that is awesome. I'm like, that thing was so bright even with the arms down. I could write by the light of that thing, and that's pretty good because I can't write in the dark. I'm really night blind, so that's badass. I can't even imagine what it'll be like with the arms on it up. So that's comforting. So that on top of the little battery powered tea light things and the little itty bitty mini LED Christmas light things I'll stick in like an empty milk jug to illuminate them more. And glow sticks and those, and if I run out of all those, then in the furthest reaches of the house as far away from Grandpa as possible, we can still use candles. I would just feel better knowing there's that much distance. With the meditation thing, I honestly don't do it that frequently, so maybe I'd just try and work this out to where I would do it when he's not in the bedroom right below me, like maybe when he's out in the living room, because then he wouldn't be directly under me with the thing, and then I could probably, actually relax while doing this, and have my incense and my candles, and yay, everybody's happy. So, that made me feel quite a bit better asking that. My other 2 big questions went unanswered, mostly because after asking that one and then feeling stupid for being so obvious of an answer, then I was kind of like feeling retarded and didn't want to ask the other 2. The one was about the strokes thing, and the next one, if it's guaranteed, how they say no matter what he does, he's going to have another one, and he will die of a stroke. Well, I wanted to ask, yes, he will have another one, but is the next one guaranteed to be fatal, or could he have several that aren't fatal and just fuck him up for a while before he has one that's fatal? I didn't get to ask that one. I probably already know the answer to that, but wanted to ask it. And my other one, because I have irrational paranoias that apparently nobody else on the planet does, but just because they have to do the house inspection and tell us what we need to move, this, that, and the other. Since our router for our TVs, internet, and phones are in the room he's going to be staying in, despite them being way off in, like, a corner, out of the way of everything, and I don't see how this could possibly even affect anything, I have this irrational paranoia that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that thing has to go. On what possible level this even makes logical sense that they would say that, I'm not sure, other than, like, potentially messing with equipment, but I would imagine the only real equipment he'd even be on would, like, possibly, we don't even know for sure, but, like, possibly oxygen. That's not like a computerized thing like the monitoring things in the hospital where they're like, oh my god, I don't have a cell phone on in here because it'll fuck with it. It's, like, not even like that, so with that in mind, I don't see why it would even potentially be a problem with that being in there. The only thing that could possibly have any bearing on anything that they may want changed is that the power outlet in there that it's plugged into has the plastic thingy around it off, so they could have not only it plugged in, but they have like a phone jack thing shoved into it somehow. The Uverse tech guy like made his own thing out of it so that we had both our phone lines wired into the wall through it on top of our cable and our internet and everything. It's all through one jack in the wall, but the plastic thing doesn't fit over it, so I don't know if they're gonna be like, oh, that's not safe, you can't have that in the room with him, even though this isn't a toddler, this is a grown-ass man, and it's not like he's suffering from, like, dementia or some shit. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna, like, go over there and stick his finger in the electrical socket, but I don't see that being a problem, realistically. I'm trying to reason with myself and rationalize the whole thing, but again, I have about every anxiety disorder known to man. And then I'm not even exaggerating that. I've had them diagnosed by a professional. So, yeah, like I have generalized anxiety, I have social anxiety, I have specific anxiety disorders about certain things. It's like, I'm apparently just a huge ball of worrying, is what I am. But anyway, yeah, pretty much, we all know damn well I'll last about 30 seconds of them being in that room and them looking around it before I'm gonna ask, that doesn't have to go, right? And as long as everything goes the way it's supposed to, they'll be like, no, why would it? If they say it does, then I don't know what happens, because we're gonna be hosed, probably, although I don't imagine they could make a person, like, get rid of it, because, I mean, being without phones, TV, and internet is like, if there were an emergency, we wouldn't even be able to call out, so that doesn't make sense that they would say to get rid of it. Even it's wired into the wall in the spot it is, connected to the outside of the house, I think that's the only place we can even have it in here, unless we call them in to rewire the fucking house, which I don't see them making us do that for something that's realistically not even in the way or interfering with anything. So again, I'm trying to rationalize with myself that this is an unfounded fear. Why am I even spazzing about it? And yet, it has been like my number one fear, even above the candles thing, God only knows why, since the day I heard he's going to live here after he had his stroke. Likewise, anytime somebody has even, like, spent the night here and slept in that room, my number one fear is, oh my god, what if they fuck with the router? What if they turn it off? What if they get mad that the lights are on and they can't sleep and they, like, try to throw something over it and it overheats and, like, melts or starts a fire? Or... yeah, this is how my mind works. This is how fucking insane I am. I'm well aware of it. I know that it's irrational. I even know that logically, most of this stuff probably won't even happen. And yet I worry about it needlessly and pointlessly and can't stop myself from doing it. And it sucks. That's all I can say, is that it sucks. And it's like far from the only thing I do that on. I get this way with like any like anxiety level fear that finds its way into my head. It's kind of like a tape loop. Once it's in there, my mind will not stop obsessing about that particular fear, no matter how ridiculous it is, no matter how little it may make sense, but it will just play over and over and over and over and over in my head, non-fucking stop, to the point where it's like the only thing I can think of. And distracts me from just about everything else, and all I can do is worry about it until I have somebody dispel it or confirm it one way or the other, and find out what happens from there, which I do realize from the years I spent in therapy that, yeah, worrying does absolutely nothing, so what's the point of it? Yes, I even logically know that, but it doesn't change the fact that my brain is hardwired into anxiety shit, and it sucks. So that is what it is. I kind of wish they had hardwired that thing into my bedroom so I wouldn't even have this fear. Be like, see, it's right there where I can see it anytime, any day, and nobody can get to it because it's in my room and I don't even allow anybody in here, so end of story. That would have been the ideal, but I don't think I realized when they were, like, figuring out where they should put it in the first place that I should, like, let them do that in here. Because I was so busy being hung up on, oh my god, I don't let people in my room. I'm not gonna let some strange man into my bedroom. I, like, flipped shit just over them, like, hooking the cable box up to my TV. And again, yes, I hear everybody through the door. They're very noisy. But, yeah. Since I, like, flipped out so much over that, they obviously didn't put the router in my bedroom like my dad originally was talking about, since he saw how spastastic I was in the old house with the one we had there. It lived in his bedroom there, and every time anything happened, I would like disturb him because I'd like have to wake him up in the middle of the night to like mess with it to like reset it if it like went out or whatever. And it pissed him off because I would do it like 2 or 3 in the damn morning if need be, and would not hear of waiting. So yeah, he was like, this time we're gonna put it in your room. And if we notice it go out, we'll come wake you up to fix it. It was like, I'm cool with that. What's the problem here? How is that a bad thing? I actually would prefer that. Until I realized that it's not as easy as just plug it into the wall and go. We have to have the house wired and requires somebody to come in here to do that. Yeah. So it's like, I suppose if it came down to it, we could probably call a tech out to have them do that, but it seems really unnecessary if it can just stay where it is, ideally. Especially because I have no idea how long we'd be without service for them to like have to redo the whole damn thing. Because I remember the first time they wired our house, we were without anything for, God, I think it was like over a week just for them to do the wiring work. And even then, we only had phones at that point for emergency use. And it was like a month before we actually had service. So that was all bad, and there is no way that I'm doing that a second time. Fuck that. It's not happening. So if it can just stay where it is, that would be fantastic. But if it can't, and the alternative is nothing, then obviously I'm gonna have to suck it up and have them put it in here. And this will indeed be where they end up putting it, because, yeah, it's not going anywhere else, so. It wouldn't be going in my parents' room, because I think it's too far from the street to reach on that side of the house. This side is the side that's closer. So, it would make sense for them to just, like, go in the room directly above where it is right now if they had to do that. But again, I'm probably psyching myself up over nothing, over something that's most likely not even going to happen, that they're just gonna be like, yeah, so it's like not even in the way, it's in the corner. So the bed's going away the fuck over there. If it needs an oxygen machine, goes right here. Why would we ask about that? Maybe you should like put it on a table or something, but it's not even in the way. See, this is most likely how it will actually go, I figure, in reality. I mean, if anything, they might complain that he doesn't have a TV in there, although I don't think that's like a requirement for caregiving, because yeah, we're planning on like bringing his TV over and just like hooking a DVD player to it, and if he wants to watch like actual TV, we'll like bring him out in the living room so he'll like have a reason to get out of bed, because if he gets too comfy, he'll probably just never get out of bed again, and we know that, so we're trying to avoid that from happening. So, yeah, we figure if he really starts demanding, we can get one of those wireless antenna box things, that digitized antenna things that they started making a few years ago, and like just hook that to his, because it doesn't seem to make much sense to to pay that much extra for yet another TV in this house. It'd be like the 6th one, for a very temporary situation. It makes more sense to just like get one of those things. You pay once, here's your antenna, have a nice day. It's just local channels. So he'd have that in his room, and then if he wants to watch special stuff, then he can come out and watch it with us. But if he got to the point where he's like seriously 100% bedbound, then yeah, we'd probably get him like an actual box to make his last days nicer. But hopefully it won't even come down to that. I don't think it would, but it might. It's not that big a deal if it does. I was worried originally about the whole thing of you can only have so many things going at once, and I get pissed off at getting my TV bumped off all the time, because usually mine's the one that gets bumped. Except, oh yeah, I typically watch TCM and almost only TCM, with the exception of like Once Upon a Time. TCM has an app where you can watch the live feed of the Western or the Eastern feed through the app. Anytime, day or night, anything that's on the station, you can view streaming on there. And I was like, this will be so fucking convenient if it comes down to that, because I won't have to worry about anybody bumping my TV off, because it won't even be on the TV. I'll just watch it on my friggin' iPod and be like, haha, I win. You guys battle it out with your TVs. I'll be over here with my movies. Fuck you guys. That's pretty much all I really need. It's like, I've got that. If I want to watch Once Upon a Time, well, A, we tape that, so I mean, that wouldn't even be a problem anyway, but let's say that I couldn't do that for some unknown fucking reason. It's on Hulu, and I think it's on abc.com, and yeah, I could watch that. Also streaming, so it's like, yeah, probably not too much of a problem. And if he has, the wireless type receiver thing in there for the actual cable company, yes, there is an issue with it bumping wireless devices off, but I actually forgot that I have an Ethernet cable and can just plug that into the wall, and ta-da, I don't have that problem. So, yeah, most of my fears over that I was already able to dispel, because I was like, I already have ways around that shit, so yeah, bring it, I don't care. But, yeah, at this point, mostly I'm just worried over them not telling us that we need to get rid of the router, which, again, I don't think they can do that. My dad has pretty much told me I'm on crack for even worrying about that. My mom has basically told me the same thing. For the record, I am not on crack. I don't do drugs. I drink caffeine. That's my only drug. So, I'm just a natural-born worrier. But, yeah. It's not even so much, like, internet dependency. It's that it's internet, the TVs, and the phones would all be on. I would have no contact whatsoever with the outside world if we couldn't use the router. So, this is why it's an issue. Just for the record. And again, I realistically know that it probably 95% sure, maybe even a little higher, that it shouldn't even be an issue, but yeah, I'll feel better just hearing it out of their mouths tomorrow, having it confirmed that yeah, I am worried over nothing. I will feel so much better hearing it from them, so. Just like the candles thing, I was so worried because I thought for sure she was going to be like, yeah, you can't do that when he's in the house if he has oxygen. And then pretty much being told opposite that, yeah, just don't be near him with it. Don't be stupid, basically, was the bottom line. Use your brain here. Common sense tells you don't go right next to somebody on it and you'll probably be just fine. Which, the more I thought about it, it's like, my Nana was known to smoke cigarettes while on oxygen with it on her nose while smoking. And obviously she didn't blow up. So, yes, she freaking had a lit flame on her lighter to light her cigarettes and she didn't go up. So, I mean, thinking about that and then realizing I was all worried about, like a candle on the other side of the house, essentially. It's kind of ridiculous when put into that perspective. So, yeah, I feel better, again, just having it confirmed that having someone more or less tell me, you're an idiot, that's not how it works, stop worrying, makes all the difference. So it's like, at least I know that since the thing is tomorrow, there's an end in sight of having to even worry about this stupid thing, which would be good because I've been worrying about it for, God, over a month now. Actually, possibly a month to the day, because he had his stroke on the 17th of last month, and I think it was the next day that they said he'd come live with us if he ever made it out of the hospital. So yeah, I guess it's like a month to the day that I have been worried over this totally irrational fucking fear. And been asking the opinion of literally anyone and everyone who will listen. not a single person yet has told me that they think it would even be an issue. So, again, I know it is an irrational fucking fear, and I'm being ridiculous. So, that is that. It should be more interesting just to see what their requirements actually are for shit we need. Like, do we need handrails all around the house? Do we need, like, slip mats on the hardwood floors? Do we need, God only knows what, like a special toilet in the downstairs bathroom? I don't even know. I mean, I don't know if they can, like, legally force you to get these things or just suggest it, or I don't know. So, I mean, they can't, like, oh jeez, I just gave myself yet another irrational fear. They can't, like, make us get rid of the dog, right? Just because she barks a lot. I don't think they could, like, do that. This isn't the Wizard of Oz with trying to get rid of Toto. I mean, this, yeah, I don't know. I'm ridiculous, I know. So, yeah, basically that whole time they were mulling over this whole big, long, extended thing. And most of it was fairly straightforward and stuff that I'd already anticipated. And as such, because it was really nothing new, other than them saying maybe, like, my mom and I should, like, go through caregiver training first, just to know what we actually have to do, since we're gonna be the ones home with him all day every day. Other than that, it was all fairly straightforward, and even that training, I bet you I know almost everything from already. But, yeah, I was kind of just sitting there, feeling like an old lady for thinking, I could be at home knitting right now. And then realizing, I'm in a retirement home, having old lady thoughts. I suck. I totally fucking suck. But for the record, I have a really awesome sweater that's, like, kind of almost done, sort of. It, like, I didn't start it today, by the way. I'm not that awesome. I started, like, a week ago. But, yeah, it's, like, got the body part of it done, and the bottom ribbing edge done. I've got the better part of a sleeve done. Yeah, I'm working with 5 needles at once because I am insane, apparently. Although, actual nurse would be like, yeah, that's not even impressive, chick, so... But to those of you who don't, it looks impressive, so I'm gonna go with that. But, yeah, there's that. And I'm finding it more astounding that those sleeves are taking me longer to work on than the whole body of that thing did. 'Cause I barreled through the body of that sweater from Monday morning of last week to about maybe Thursday or Friday of last week. Which is insane, given my last sweater took me 2 months to make, which is on the other side of the room, but I don't feel like picking up to show off, so... But, yeah, I'm like, that's a lot more area to cover, and I did it way frigging faster, yet this dumb sleeve is taking days on end just for itself. It's literally a fucking tube. Why is this taking so long? It's not like it's hard or anything, or even particularly time consuming. That's why I'm baffled of why is this taking longer than, like, the rest of it? I don't understand. I just don't understand. So then we went home, and before I got too comfy or relaxed or anything, my sister comes over with her kids, which, yeah, typically that's the everyday thing, but it's like moving day for her today. Moving into her new rental house and everything that she's renting from my grandpa, and moving her stuff in, dropped her kids off so they wouldn't be in the way or have to get loaded up every single time she went to get another load, because that's kind of self-defeating there, because you don't have much room in the car after loading up 3 kids, but, yeah, so she brings them over here, and I knew immediately the middle kid had to be sick. Turns out I was right, but yeah, I knew the second he walked in that door, he was pale. He was not like acting like a truck, which sounds insane, but no, he's a toddler. I mean, he just barrels around into things like a frigging truck and doesn't care where he's going. If he crashes into stuff, he doesn't care. He just keeps going till he like passes out. Um, he wouldn't stop clinging to my sister. He just like instantly was crying the second he got there, which isn't like him. And she was like, "You want to take a nap?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to take a nap." I was like, okay, that right there is something wrong with him. He never naps here. He never naps here. I don't think he has once since he was like an infant. So the fact that he easily went to sleep, I like barely got a blanket around him and he was out. And I was like, holy shit, I don't know what's wrong with him, but that boy is sick. His siblings were fine, so hopefully it's not like a catchy thing, but yeah, he woke up a few hours later, screaming his head off and just crying his eyes out. Didn't seem to want anything in particular. Couldn't put into words what was wrong. I kept trying to ask every which way what was wrong, and he didn't know how to verbalize that. But I mean, again, the kid is 3, so I don't know what I was expecting there. But he just wanted to lay there and sleep. So I let him lay there and sleep, and he was sweating and shivering, and I was like, that's not good. So my sister comes back like in early evening, and her husband came by a little later, and he still like crashed out. She like tried to get him just to sit up and like wake up enough to like get ready to go home, and bleh, all over the floor. I have a severe vomit phobia. I think I made record time in bolting out the front door. Holy shit. Like, I think I darted up the stairs to get my shoes, darted back down the stairs while holding my breath and had my shirt, like, up over my nose, and just freaking barreled out the front door. I was like, I'm getting the mail. I'm getting the mail. And used that as my excuse and just, like, stayed out there for a while. And was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, there's the rope in there. So I'm like, reasoning with myself of, I wonder if it's been long enough yet to where somebody must have cleaned it up. What if he threw up again, though? And I'm like, totally fucking ridiculous. Stalking around the back of the house, trying to peek in, see, did they clean it up yet? Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see him throwing up. Okay, I'm gonna come back around the front of the house. I'm gonna throw the mail down and run the fuck back upstairs. And I realize, fuck, I left all my stuff down on the dining room table. So I hold my breath again, put the shirt back up over my nose, dart back down the stairs, grab everything, run back up the stairs, which for an asthmatic, that's not that easy, trying to hold your breath that much, but got everything back up here, and closed the door, and like Lysoled my entire body, washed my hands for like 5 minutes straight, freaking used hand sanitizer up to like my shoulders. You only think I'm joking. I am not even joking right now. I am a severe freaking germaphobe. You have no idea. Yeah. It just... Like an hour later, I like barely creaked my door open a little bit just to like peek out, be like, he okay down there? And they're like, oh yeah, he's fine now, he's running around, he's all happy now. I think he got it out of his system. It's like, oh yeah, well, I hope you're like Lysoling downstairs and cleaning it up. And oh yeah, we already took like steam mop to it and Lysoled it and bleached it. We know how you are. So it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Didn't come back out of my room. Since it happened in the kitchen, I'm like, you know, dinner was just getting put onto plates as that happened. And those germs were in the air, as the food was in the room. I think I'm good. I think I'll just skip this one. Honestly, I'm just. Ugh. Why? And then the logical half of my brain kicked in was like, oh, holy crap. Of all the times for this to happen, the day before my grandpa's going to be here. If anybody shouldn't be around, like, sick germs, it's the elderly. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what do we do here? Other than, like, try to sanitize the entire fucking house, but, worst timing ever, basically. Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure out what do we do. I have also honestly not yet come out of my room since then, so yeah, that I think I'm probably camped out good for the night in here. I'll just be staying right here. I think I'm good. I don't want those fucking sick germs. I do not want them. So on the plus side, I like this shirt. It makes my boobs look awesome. But small silver lining. Yeah, not much of a silver lining. Best investment ever though is this shirt, probably. But oh, there's stuff to talk about that does not involve throw up because I don't even want to think about it anymore. Oh yeah, it's like not even news anymore since it was like a week or two ago, but daylight savings time ended or started, or I don't even know how it works. The one where you fall back, that one happened, so I think that's the ended one, maybe. And it gets dark all hella early and shit. I am one of those people who is super freaking sensitive to the time change. Like, during the summer I do okay, because it stays light out till like 9 at night, and then like I'm usually good for an hour or two if I'm lucky after it's dark out before I get like overwhelmingly sleepy and just go to bed. So during the summer, that's like normal enough hours for an adult. Then the time change happens and it's dark out at like 5 and I'm ready to crash at like 7. Read as now, but I'm like, I suck at being young. I just fail. I fail. I know. But, this happens every damn year. And by the time that I'm about ready to, like, snap out of it and be at, like, a normal-ish hour, the other time change happens, and I'm like, so I just, like, spent so long trying to shift it back, I may as well have just waited for that anyway, because I really didn't actually succeed at it much anyhow. Yeah, I'm like, am I the only one that has this issue? I mean, I didn't even used to have this. It was like, I hit 25, and this, like, showed up one year, and has hit ever since. It sucks. It's like, I feel like one of those birds where, like, you throw the blanket over the cage and as soon as it's dark out, oh, it's sleepy time now. But, like, apparently, if I'm out somewhere with fluorescent lights, I can stay awake. So I'm like, can we just, like, swap out the lights in my room to fluorescent lights so I can stay up? But I don't think my dad will go for that. I used to have fluorescent lights in my old bedroom. Maybe that's why I'm so screwed up in this one, is that I grew up with fluorescent lights, and now suddenly not having them, I'm like, this, like, isn't even a light. I don't know what this is. That's not a light. Incandescent. Blah. That's not even a light. When it's, like, bright and glaring white, then we'll talk. When it looks like a supermarket in here because it's so bright, that's a light. But yeah, there's that. And then on top of it, it's like wintry and cold out, and all you want to do is just like curl up under a blanket, and which also adds to the sleepy because even if I don't feel sleepy yet, if I lay down, oh, it's all over. That seems to just be it if I lay down. So I try not to, but it's usually one of those things where it's like, oh, well, my back hurts, I'm just gonna lay down for a minute. I'm not gonna go to sleep, I'm just gonna lay down for a minute. Yeah, it never works out that way. And I wake up a few hours later and I'm like, fuck, it happened again. Yeah. So there's that. I'm sure this is probably like, I don't know, what is that thing? Seasonal affective disorder? I wouldn't be half surprised if I have that, and if that's what this is. If it's something else, I don't know what it is, but that would be my guess. Because I know it fucks with my moods, too, when it gets to the cold, rainy weather. Although, I think it affects everybody to some extent. It's not just me. I think it affects everybody. It makes you, like, all gloomy, and zaps your energy, and all sorts of bad stuff when it's all cloudy and rainy and cold out. And if it's sunny out, you know, magically your mood's a lot better and your energy's up. So I don't know, I just feel like I'm more sensitive to it than a lot of people are, but again, that's just me. So other shit, not even right about to talk about it, but oh right, okay, my mess up in talking just gave me something else to kind of talk about a little bit, although not much. Just since the last video, I did get some progress done on my NaNoWriMo thing. Not a lot, and I'm still ridiculously far behind. I'm still probably going to fail miserably at it this year, but I am too stubborn to just bail on it. I will, like, keep working on that thing till the last day of the month, even if I'm, like, way the fuck behind and know there's no way that I can hit the damn goal. I'll still do it anyway, just because I do. And this time I'll probably keep working even after the end of the month, but, because it's, like, an ongoing project, so I don't see myself just bailing on it for it being the end of November, but, I'm almost at 6,000 now. Yeah, I know, that's like not even an accomplishment. We're on day 18, and I only have like nearly 6,000 words written out of 50,000 for the goal. Yeah, I think it goes without saying. I don't think this is gonna be a winning year unless there's like a freaking miracle. Which, yeah, I'm not even gonna kid myself. I mean, I've had worse losses than this one before. Short of just skipping it entirely like I did last year. I think the worst one, I think I wrote a paragraph and bailed on it. That was a pretty bad loss, but usually I get like, on average, maybe 20-30 pages written somewhere in there before I realize, fuck, I ran out of time, or, alternately, didn't run out of time, but ran out of ideas mid-story, and now I'm stuck, and writer's block, and, well, there went that. So, yeah, it makes it hard, so we'll see what I can do with it. I mean, again, it's a process. It's not so much about the destination, it's the process, and like I said, especially since I'm not just, like, bailing on it at the end of November, there's really not that much pressure, to me anyway, to actually try and win it that hard, since I've won it twice, and it's not like you really win anything tangible for it. It's just kind of bragging rights. I'm like, been there, done that, bought myself a t-shirt. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, it'd be cool, it'd be nice, but I mean, it's not like the end of the world if it doesn't happen, so. Could be worse. I could have bought a PS4 that doesn't work. My brother did. He had his on pre-order for freaking months. He gets it, and it was dead on arrival, just like about half of the other ones that got mailed out. So, I mean, a lot of these people are fucked until, like, January because they're so backlogged, but apparently he made a pain in the ass of himself, like, so much, to the point where I don't even know what he did, but he thinks he has managed it to where he talked to somebody at Sony where he can, like, mail his back and, like, 2-day shipping or something, and they'll send him another one in, like, a week. My big question is the new one guaranteed to work, or are they just swapping it out for, like, the next one on the conveyor belt? I would think they'd want to at least test that shit and make sure it works first after all that. But yeah, this is a pretty bad video game dud, I have to admit. I mean, if he gets a working one, I imagine it'll probably be pretty cool, but so far, seems like most of the people I know that pre-order them got fucked on this deal. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm a Nintendo fangirl and not a Sony fangirl. It has been like a war in this house for years on end of Sony versus Nintendo and where our loyalties lie. I've always been on the side of Nintendo since it's what I've grown up with since 2 or 3 years old, and we had the original Nintendo and bought every system that came out since then, with the exception of the Super Nintendo. And I don't have Wii 2 yet, but other than that, we've had all of them. And my brother has had every single Sony PlayStation console and handheld and everything else you can imagine since then. And it's always been an ongoing battle of, yeah, well, Sony's better and every possible level. Yeah, but I like Nintendo more, I don't care. It's like the stupidest battle ever, but it's a matter of preference. And yeah, especially when you're more of a casual gamer than, like, hardcore gamer playing shooters and shit like he does. I suppose Nintendo works just fine for me for the things that I play, since my biggest ones are things like the Mario games, or Mega Man, or Harvest Moon, or any of the great number of music games, or sim-related games like Sim Animals, or any of those. You don't need, like, a $600 game system to play those. I'm good with my little Nintendo over here. I mean, I'm still debating whether or not I want a 3DS. I didn't pounce on that one simply because I have vertigo issues, especially with 3D things. But now they've got the newer 2DS, which is basically the 3DS without the 3D part. Which I'm like, that's perfect. That is amazing. But I'm still on the fence because unlike a DS or anything else from the DS line, it doesn't, like, fold shut or anything. It just is. It's like a big bulky square. It actually kind of reminds me of, like, those things in the 80s, those, like, LED handheld games with, like, the arrows on, like, the one side for up and down and left and right on the other side, and that was it. And it was like a little LCD blip, 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 like about, like, 3 frames either direction for, like, the whole thing. The layout reminds me a lot of those. And the fact that it doesn't fold up and that it's just as is that way, and it's so big and bulky, it hell of reminds me of those. Speaking of, I bet those are probably worth some money. I used to have quite a few of them. I had, like, all the Disney ones. But, oh well, it's a moot point. I don't even think we still have them. We probably got rid of them forever ago. I don't think they'd even still work now if we did have them, but yeah, at least I don't have a PlayStation, so things could be worse, you know? But, yeah, that. It just seems like it'd be the biggest pain in the ass to have to go through that whole thing for a game system. I've been pretty fortunate with mine of not having any major issues with them when I've bought them. I don't think I've had any, really, come to think of it. I think I've had them with, like, individual games, but never the system itself unless I did something that fucked it up. In which case it's my own bad, so can't really complain there too much now, can I? No, I can't. So yeah. But anyway, I really cannot think of much of anything else to talk about right now, so yeah, I will talk to you guys later.